Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. We welcome you back inside the Toronto Rock Athletic Center for the final time from the red turf here today. 7 o'clock Eastern local time, 7 p.m. As we get set for our final match of the day, Six Nations against KW. As it'll be Kitchener-Waterloo working right to left in their dark uniforms here, occupying the visitors' bench with the first possession. One of the top face-off players in the tournament in Bo Columbus gives them first possession, and they capitalize with a goal. Early movement that time from Aiden Fern. So back-to-back. Already 2 wins on the day for Bo Columbus. That one the easiest, as 35 seconds gone. Already 1-0 for Kitchener-Waterloo, who need a win desperately to stay in the hunt for that. Again, we're leading up to 2 weekends from now, semifinal championship weekend in the Ontario Junior Lacrosse League. KW coming in 0-3 after a loss earlier this afternoon against the Brampton Excelsiors. Tight one last night against Burlington. And dropping their opening match to St. Catharines. We'll see them in action later tonight against Oakville Buzz, our primetime matchup. As this one sails high and out of play. Your officials the same as they were last game for those of you that were with us. Mark Thompson, Roger Nurse, Neil McDonald. As Halachuk covers up here for Six Nations. And Kitchener-Waterloo corralling the rebound, though. Ty Kurtz, who had himself a night last night with 8 points, I believe, still tops in the tournament. Keep calling it the tournament, but this is the Ontario Junior Lacrosse League season, played over a couple weekends. By the time we're done, after 9 p.m. tonight, we'll have played 22 games over a 2-day span. We'll do it all again next weekend as well, Saturday and Sunday. Be sure to join us here on the JVI Sports Network. Cutting in as that ball goes over top. Riley Miller shot that time. And quick transition again for KW. This has been their MO. As Trent DeCiccio looking for a man up top. Too hot to handle for Gavin Snow. It's played back for Kurtz. He goes to the left side of the floor with 10 on the shot clock. Back working out from the boards. The shot, Halachuk will cover up. And the rebound stays inside the crease. Played back here for the Arrows, Aiden Fern. A flip pass back to Bo Hunter. Bouncer there may have hit a defender. And now late in the shot clock here for Six Nations. Rolled out and towards the crease, and a bit too long for Stevens, but the wheels for Jake Stevens. If you missed our game last night or any of the Kitchener-Waterloo broadcasts so far, that kid can fly, number 14 for KW. Bo Hunter to the far side. Gets a return pass, does Marshall Powless. Right side once again, Chayton King this time, his shot sails wide. 5 of the shot clock here as they all search for the loose ball that was sitting in the crease. New rule change this year, offensive players can reach in. And now Bo Columbus to slow things up. Hard shot straight down the pipe for Devin Orpana. And Howlachuk will stand in again. Those blue and red Toronto Rock pants. He is a Rock draft pick from a few years ago. He's been on the team for, I think, 2 seasons, if not 3. Practice roster goaltender looking for a breakaway here. Putting the brakes on, he'll go one-on-one. Will Kessler Sky. Winning the battle, Zane Dalpe for Kitchener-Waterloo. Sky turns back around and gets drilled and then finds open space thanks to a pick, but way late in the shot clock now. Under 10 seconds for Riley Miller. As Miller turns back, a shovel pass back to his man who gets chopped down. And possession given back to the Arrows just as the 30-second clock expires. First 5 minutes of 15 gone here in the opening period. As a bounce shot will tie it up. Looked like a bit of a nothing play. There for the Arrows, but from the outside, Ross Hill, a bouncer, will make it 1-1. We believe it's Cole Martin in the net for Kitchener-Waterloo. Trying to confirm as Duncan Thompson spins and shoots this one high and doesn't quite get here. Heads up in the stands. Nice catch from someone in an Orangeville shirt. Could be one of the Northman players. No general admission access here. And all fans are asked to leave in between games. The players were given 2 tickets each. Having to screen in before arriving, showing proof of the process through a QR code. As Howlachuk makes the save, rebound briefly up for grabs. And then mandatory masks while on site. As we're still living in the world we're living in, but great to have Lacrosse back on the floor nonetheless, and that one squeaks through the legs of Cole Martin off the stick of Tyler Davis, and the Arrows have claimed the lead.
Thank you.
It is indeed Cole Martin. Getting confirmation actually from Jeremy Bailey. A shout out to him, Colleen Grimes, and the Ontario Junior Lacrosse League entire staff, which includes their new commissioner, Mark Grimes, as Ty Kurtz picks up where he left off yesterday. Another shot there in a tie game, 2-all. 8.5 left to go. Again, Ty Kurtz, an 8-point effort last night as that shot just passed the outstretched left foot of Howlachuk. And a clean face-off win here for the Arrows. Aiden Fern. His shot bounces all the way back and across center. Picked up by Reed Kurtz. Down to the crease, trailing the plate. DeCiccio, a rip and a goal. Well, buckle up, folks. We might be going back-to-back here in this one, as already 3-2. Haven't reached the halfway mark of the period yet, with both teams looking for wins to stay in the hunt here in the West Division. KW desperately needs one. Has 3 teams already with 2 wins, including St. Catharines, Burlington, Brampton. 6 Nations with 1, Kitchener without. So you don't want to go 0-4 and basically having to sweep next weekend, you would think, to just give yourself a shot to make that championship weekend. But for 6 Nations, a win just to keep pace now. So a big game here, and already 5 goals in our opening half. As contact on the far side. We'll hand it back. Andrew Borgatti, the captain. Acquired from Brampton in a trade. I believe it was a trade anyways. Chapara. Handing it back as Kurtz was hauled down. Airborne now is Borgatti. And 6 Nations defender having all kinds of trouble. I believe it's Hunter Agus picking up the ball. We've got an injured Arrow down. Clutching at his ankle to the right side of the net. We have a second one who gets up hobbling, and a third goes to the penalty box for a trip. So a lot happening on that play. In what is a 1-goal game. All games today, including this one and the last one to come, are brought to you by the Dairy Farmers of Ontario. We'll remind you to hashtag MilkUp. And the injured player, who I didn't get a number of, we'll see if we can on his way off. And of course, it's one that I don't have on my sheet. So, apologies to those of you watching at home. James Gowland, I believe, wearing number 10 as we check the online score sheet, which you can do at OntarioLacrosseLeague.com. Late in the shot clock here for KW, turning and firing just past the net, and now with it down to 1, Ty Kurtz, kind of the Hail Mary. Does not beat the 30. Backing into pressure, Zach Miller from the far side. Double team there to strip it free. He takes it away from 3 KW defenders, though, does Miller. Still got it, looking for space, finally tripped up. But that did take the penalty time down to a minute. And getting congratulations from his mate in the box is Miller for that effort. It's Nuncan Thompson that went off for tripping. As a shot here from KW in front. Halachuk, 1 save and nearly a second as a diving attempt did not go. One-hand cradle all the way up for Darius Anderson. Goes back close to half for Chayton King. Now far side, Tyler Davis. Davis goes for a run all the way around into the corner. Davis still with it. Davis looking to return for King, and that nearly hit Roger Nurse, the official on the far side, late in the shot clock, but more importantly, penalty clock now down to only 5 seconds as KW gets set up. It's Ty Kurtz. Kurtz going to take it himself, thinks better of it, turns back, may do it himself still, but big collision there, popped the ball free in numbers here for 6 Nations. Led by Nuncan Thompson, fresh out of the box, his shot. Save made there by Cole Martin. And the ball shoveled outside for Jaden Smith. He'll just wait for the change with plenty of time on the shot clock. Under 5 to go in the period, however. All the scoring so far coming in the first half. As to the net, Marshall Palace, his shot blocked. Next one does get through all the way off the stick of Ross Hill. Rebound quickly into the stick of Callan Martin, and he runs it into Arrows territory. Ty Kurtz. Sidestep hopping his way in. Rising shot, sidearm from Devin Orpana. Another one off the back glass. Halachuk down to meet the return from Kurtz. And the save made, and here comes Six Nations. Hard shot. Martin, the shoulder save. That was Kevin Owen Hill. As Borgatti takes it back. Hidden ball play between him and Gavin Snow. Snow lost it, and he's facing two Arrows defenders. From the outside, a bit of a sidearm shot that didn't have the full follow through from Borgatti off the end boards. And it will be Six Nations possession. Borgatti, the only KW player with NLL commitment. He drafted by the New York Riptide in the most recent NLL draft. Near side, Marshall Palace works around a pick. Now they turn it into a roll. Past the intended target. Now far off the far dasher. There's nobody home there. And no one can pick up the loose ball either, allowing Blair Cosgrove to bring it out in transition. Here's Stevens. Jake Stevens. Top gear not needed. At least on this trip, is Zane Dalpe. A low shot there. Halachuk there to meet it and ensure there's no loose ball. Riley Miller crashes into his man, King, putting it into the corner. Big tie up in the trenches here. And a huge hit sends Marshall Palace flying into the corner. Ball carrier triple teamed and a backhand pass. Tyler Davis couldn't bring it down to get a shot, but some nifty ball movement after the huge hit that knocked into Marshall Palace. Lebar going to be called for the high stick, and it should be 2 minutes. For those of you that tuned in last night, mistakenly said that unlike the NLL, there is still a minor for high sticking. So not full NLL rules, just 8 specific changes that were made during the offseason that lasted nearly 2 years for some of these players. 1:45 to go in the period, 1:35 to go in the penalty. As it's up top for Palace. Marshall Palace over to King. Chayton King, his shot handled there by Cole Martin. This comes all the way back up top for Palace with a fresh 30 seconds. Palace looking for King, another shot and another save from Martin. Pushed ahead, here's Stevens, he's gonna get a short-handed breakaway. Stevens all alone beating his man on Halachuk, and the kick save. Troy Halachuk keeps it a 1-goal game. Penalty time down under a minute. We're right now exactly 1 to play here in our first period. Still all scoring coming in that first as Orpana and Kurtz try and change that. What a pass and a reception. But the spinning shot from Dalpe ends up off the backboards. Darius Anderson. With 30 seconds left in the period and 20 left in the Arrows power play. We'll pass here to Riley Miller. Up top for Bo Hunter. He'll go behind the net. Errant pass turns into a loose ball. Batted down the floor. Shot clock goes. Reed Kurtz looking to get there quick. And quickly out the front door of the bench was Kessler Sky. I think the officials might have given Reed Kurtz the quick restart as well. As we said, the transition of KW on the side of the crease. The shot there, and Halichuk down and covers up a 3-2 first period between two teams that desperately need a win. Final couple games of the weekend here from the Toronto Rock Athletic Center.
When we first started the school, we wanted to build something special, and that's what's brought us here to this campus. We feel like this is a special place. There's 134 acres of pristine nature, and it's going to be a place where our student athletes can really explore the boundaries of their potential. And we don't want it to feel like school. We want it to feel like home in their own community.
For the last 13 years, we've worked really hard to build a program and environment for dedicated student athletes to thrive and to reach their potential. We're ready for that next step. And that next step is to be on a campus that enhances that environment and enhances that culture. The first day I stepped foot on this property, I knew that it was the right fit and the perfect environment for our student athletes to reach their potential.
We have student athletes that come from all different backgrounds and all different places from around the world, and immediately as they come through the gates here individually, they're going to feel at home here. Being in a serene environment like that, they can focus on making good choices and making decisions that get them closer to their goals.
There's great power and advantage for a student athlete to have everything on one campus, and having a private school education with individual attention to a robust strength and conditioning program, to a unique athletic experience, and one that really will allow a student athlete to explore the boundaries of their potential.
It's not just a school, it will be a home for all of our student athletes and staff. We have custom academic building, we have an on-site cafeteria, we have residence buildings, and there's a lot of power and strength in having everything in-house and on-site and accessible to our student athletes at all times.
Our philosophy at the Hill Academy is to have a balanced experience, and we feel like this campus really gives our students the space to try to achieve that balance and have opportunities to detach from their rigorous academic and athletic schedule. It can be demanding, it can be stressful, and we want our students to have space, to reflect on their own, to have their own space, to share those in-between times with their fellow classmates and form, deep, meaningful, impactful relationships. And that's a big part of this experience at the Hill.
This is a really significant development for the Hill Academy. I reflect with profound gratitude for all the families, Hill alumni, student athletes and staff that have really laid the foundation for where we are today. I also look forward with excitement, at all the possibilities for our present and future student athletes at a location such as this. From the moment I stepped foot on this site, there was a feeling, I want to say almost a spirit, that I sensed. And I really felt that this is an ideal development for us in the new chapter of the Hill Academy. The feather is a talisman, almost a symbol. It's a logo on all our uniforms. And basically the idea behind the feather is that if you will something to happen, it will emerge, but at different places, sometimes places you don't expect. And in our history, the feather has appeared. And to me, the feather has appeared here.
We get you set for the second period here on the red turf of the Toronto Rock Athletic Center. Fifth and final game of the day and the weekend. 10th game of the weekend here on this side. For a total of 22 by the time we're all said and done after our 9 p.m. primetime game featuring St. Catharines and Oakville. If you're looking for the other game featuring believe it's Mimico and Peterborough over on the other floor. We do have 2 channels for JVI. Check out JVI Sports Network 2. Or look up OJLL here on YouTube. You'll find that as well. Bo Hunter is down on the far side as another player takes a big hit. Already lost 1 player in that first period. John Galland limped off the floor, not putting any pressure on his left leg. But the attack continues here for the Arrows. From the outside, a sidearm shot. And Marshall Powless has tied the game at 3. Minute and 11 seconds here into the second period. Teams have switched sides. If you're with us for that first, with Six Nations now going right to left. Goals in that first period from Trent DeCiccio for KW. Tyler Davis of Six Nations, Ross Hill, Marshall Powless. Back the other way, Powless wants more, and Cole Martin denies him. And for a second time, I believe swatted forward by Davin Bomberry. Pass intercepted. And Terrace Anderson. Ross Hill switching places with Chayton King. King lost it momentarily, chases it down, tries to bat it back towards his own bench where Powless was waiting. Bo Hunter's back out there. Good to see that he is recovered from that hit that he took. Late in the shot clock and overran by the defender. The shot does beat it, but not the arm of Miller as it's picked up here by KW. Curtis Hall. He'll give to Dalpe. And all the way across to the far side. Looking for a cutter. It's off a stick. And Dalpe trying to go to Orpana, who's climbing the ladder. Orpana takes it himself. And Halachuk there to make the save. Here's Jaden Smith. He finds a man off the bench. It's Davin Bomberry. Bomberry to Miller, quickly to the left side of the floor. Righties continue to cycle now as Bomberry again back over for Bo Hunter. Rebound up for grabs after a Martin save, and now it's DeCiccio. He found a man out the front door, and Darius Anderson all by himself. Darius Anderson twists his hands at the last second and can't beat Cole Martin. Shot clock in behind Martin is stuck on 38 seconds, which I don't think is correct. But the one behind Halachuk was ticking down. It was about 21. Thought we were just going to play on, but Neil McDonald says otherwise. Couple players on the Six Nations bench saying, just count it out, why don't you? Mark Thompson's going to go fix it himself. Which gives us a chance to thank our friends at the Dairy Farmers of Ontario. OJLL broadcast proudly brought to you by Dairy Farmers of Ontario. Our thanks to their support over the last 2 days. I encourage you to hashtag milk up. I wonder how much of that stuff was consumed between these two teams as they prep for games. Well, now it's backward 68 after the reset from Mark Thompson. Unplug it and plug it back in. There you go. Again, there is a playlist here on the channel featuring all 22 games that have been played here at the Toronto Rock Athletic Center over the last 2 days. So if you missed any or you'd like to watch it again, or maybe you just missed lacrosse over the 2 years almost that it was absent here in Ontario, nothing to do this week, pull up a game and you can relive what this weekend was like as we head into the crucial weekend next week. Another 22 on the schedule that will be added to the playlist to make a total of 44 overall, comprising the 2021 OJLL season. Back underway, credit Mark Thompson. Halachuk making the save on that shot. 11 minutes left to go here in the second period. As racing in Nonkin Thompson. His shot, Cole Martin made the save, and two players tangle to the side of the cage, and they both got up rather awkwardly, but looked to be fine after a couple steps. Jake Rosa cuts his way into the net, and he'll put it in the back to give KW the lead. (4-3) Six Nations now, or pardon me, KW over Six Nations. As we played 4 minutes here in the second period. Pat Gregoire taking you through Peterborough and Mimico over on the other side. It looks like the Mountaineers are up 4-2. 5 minutes gone in the second period. Only about 30 seconds ahead of where we are right now with 10.5 left to go in our second. Pass in the corner, Gavin Snow. Here's Nate Braniff, a hard shot. That was corralled there by Halachuk. Jaden Smith gets as far as center, clears the line, and then clears out of the way for a hard shot there from Bo Bowhunter. Rebound pops out, and wheels coming here from Curtis Hall. Another one of the speedy KW transition players. As Kessler Sky up here for Tyler Davis. Back up top again, another hard shot. This time it's Ross Hill. And Martin the save again. It rolls to his right-hand side. Bo Columbus up over center. We've played 5.5 now. Two goals in the period. Excuse me, one in the period per side. And a big collision in that KW crease. Thinks the Six Nations bench, led by Stu Montour, Cody Jamieson, Randy Stotts, looking for a call. Duncan Thompson again. From Akwesasne, he'll start play here. 10 seconds left in the shot clock. Over to the far side. Big shot coming from Powis. And a save from Martin. All the way back down the floor, however, a number of fakes. And then a Nearly looked like a trip from Jake Stevens, but the speedster has done it again. This time it's to give KW a 5-3 lead. Face-off win for Six Nations. Aiden Fern getting the better of Bo Columbus here after we talked him up rather mightily at the start of this one, but Fern holding his own. Here's Chayton King. The thing you love about these tournaments, never sure, you always know who some of the superstar players are, the names that you hear a lot of. What a move from DeCiccio. And then he's bowled over on his way to the cage, and another Arrows player getting up slowly after contact. And then Kessler Sky will run his way over the restraining line. A much younger Six Nations Arrows squad than we've come accustomed to seeing, as this one hits off the shoulder of Cole Martin. As I believe they're adopting the name Six Nations Arrows Express and going back to the roots of Six Nations with the throwback logo, throwback name. And what a save from Halachuk going to his right. Take that transition opportunity away past the halfway mark now of this second period. KW has gone out to a 5-3 lead after a huge shot there from, Zane Dalpe, blocked in front. Matthew Miller. And now Tyler Davis down in the corner. Davis the shot, and how did that miss? But the second one does not. Rebound. Bounce right to Marshall Palace. And I think Cole Martin either thought it went in or that he had it, but did not move. And now Six Nations back within one, their first goal of this second period. Nearing 6 minutes left in what is a one-goal game. Again, Peterborough Mimico also on right now over on our other channel, the second channel, JVI Sports Network 2. And these two games will be followed by St. Catharines and Oakville to put a cap on a busy, yes, perhaps tiring weekend, but what a great weekend of junior box lacrosse. Oh, the stop move. Pulls it back in transition and scores does Jaden Smith, and it ties the game. What a play from Smith, taking off down the floor. Big shot fake, slams on the brakes, and puts it past Cole Martin. 5-5 tie. Hey, look at that, with 5:55 left to go in the second. Unfortunately, not the fifth period. That would have been a little too much. Early movement, it looked like, from Fern, and Bo Columbus awarded that face-off win. DeCiccio has to get the draw team off and the offensive line out there. That includes Ty Kurtz. Not the huge game we saw from him last night, as DeCiccio diving for this. May have clamped down on it. Yes, he did. Agrees Mark Thompson. DeCiccio trying to go through Nunca Thompson, but Thompson elects to take the ball and head into attacking territory. Davin Bomberry. Here's Bo Hunter. Powless. Hard shot coming there from Thompson. The save from Martin and the rebound. Up and out of play, so a fresh 30 seconds here for Six Nations. It's Powless. To the near side. Pass intended for King, got away from Davin Bomberry. And now KW with a big head fake. Jake Rosa already with one goal. A low shot there, hit the post and bounces back out. Dalpe will corral it just inside half. Looked like it hit the post, but shot clock continues to tick down here. Under 10 seconds now for Ty Kurtz. Kurtz outside, needs a shot, gets one. Halachuk the save. Oh boy. Back in is the call. As Matthew Miller couldn't hang on to it, pushed it back into his crease. And there were two KW's defenders down the floor as that was restarted, and Kitchener-Waterloo will get a too many men penalty. Nearing 4 minutes to go here in the second period in what is a 5-5 tie. Again, KW sitting at the bottom of what is a 6-team Western Conference, the Western Division. 0-3 so far on the weekend. Need a win. Getting out of the weekend, and hidden ball play there. All the action was on the far side with Bo Hunter. It remained in the stick of, I believe, Colby Martin. And absolutely no one was aware, no. I believe that's Chayton King. As the rebound bounced straight to him, and they faked like they picked it up on the left side of the floor. So a little bit of an odd play that turns into a trick play, perhaps, for the Six Nations Arrows. Has them ahead by 1 in the final 4 minutes here of the second period. Borgatti has help coming off the bench. Borgatti will stay out there now. Bit of a half-hearted attempt at a hidden ball play. It's played back here for DeCiccio. Hard shot from Ty Kurtz, and it's awarded the goal in the top corner. That was in and out. Just over the left shoulder. I think it actually hit the floor, bounced up into the mesh, and came back. But either way, 3.5 to go, and we're tied once again at 6. Another really good game of lacrosse, as we've been treated to a bunch of these tight contests over the last couple days. Hope you've been with us. Again, just been great to have the Junior Box League back in Ontario. As the shot there, and it gets through Martin. As they run in, knocking Thompson. The lead goes back to the Arrows here. Did I not say in the first period to buckle up, because we could be in for a back and forth matchup all night long? That's kind of the way it went for KW last night against Burlington before I think they ran out of gas with about 5 minutes left to go. KW playing that late matchup after the 3 p.m. one. Oakville having to do the 7.5-hour split later today as St. Catharines gets the same schedule that KW did. They'll be looking for a win as well to sit all alone atop the standings as a moving screen called against the Arrows. And here comes Kitchener-Waterloo in transition. Clark, Kurtz there, and we heard the groan as it hit the foot of Kevin Owen Hill, but he's going to stand in as Orpana gives for Kurtz. Tried to be too cute with it. It goes off the end boards, but quickly in transition. Here's Kessler Sky, the shot, and Martin makes the save. Rebound all the way back to center, and we're going to have a track meet here as DeCiccio will accept the pass. Man off the bench. There was Kurtz, had to dodge the crease. And a quick stick opportunity right to the side by Trevor Barrett. All the way back up top for Urbana. Here's DeCiccio, the shot in. Halachuk will just sit on it and allow for a bit of a breath with 2 minutes left to go. Still transition. Look at the ball move quickly down the floor there for the Arrows. But Martin well aware as he's got a man all the way downfield. Pass can't get there though as Jaden Smith. Watch out here at center. And over and back called by Kessler Sky. There's Dalpe. Over to the far side. Dalpe reaching high to pick that one up and bring the rebound back down, extending the possession here for the visiting side. Then Dalpe overrunning the pass. A check from behind and a diving attempt. Keeping it on side as well is KW. Credit there to Trevor Barrett as the shot comes from Kurtz inside the final minute. Loose ball up for grabs. Delayed penalty coming as Martin is out of the cage. Play stopped as there's a loose chin strap. And the clock lost about 4 seconds there. 40.9. I think Cole Martin asking for a drink after he made that long sprint. And a high sticking call against Jaden Smith. A late power play here for KW. Clock is at 40.9. Definitely lost 4, may have lost 5. And I think they said they're going to hold for 3. Cody Jamieson, Roger Nurse in conversation, and they each come away chuckling. OLA ran an OLA University, which I think the archives are still available. I should check on that. One of the top sessions for me anyways was Cody Jamieson, Mark Gardonio. And I forget who the coach was, one of the Halifax coaches off the top of my head, as we watch KW come in talking about how officials, coaches, and players communicate with each other. And it was chaired by Ian Garrison, a fantastic session. If you go to the Ontario Lacrosse Association's website, you can check that out. Here comes the run and the shot. Had the corner open. Did the Arrows. They try for one final attempt, and Nonkin Thompson can't make something happen at the buzzer. But it'll be a power play to start the third period as Six Nations lead by 1. KW and the Six Nations Arrows, both of them need a win. And we'll see who gets it coming up with 15 minutes left to play here on the final game of the day on the red turf here at the Toronto Rock Athletic Center. We get set for the third period and a goaltending change for Kitchener-Waterloo to start. I believe it is Chase Cosgrove, listed 6'2", 183. And going completely off size, it could be Reed Fitton as well from Conestoga College and Kitchener. So again, try and confirm that. But KW has made the goaltender change as they trail 7-6. Again, both of these teams needing a victory, and it's Six Nations looking to push the floor. And may have had a big hit there as they just hold up Davin Bomberry. First one in. Still hanging on to it. Again, Six Nations shorthanded here for a minute as Bomberry still has it. And the penalty time down under a minute as teams have switched ends yet again and back to our original floor configuration with KW running right to left on your screen. Here's Kurtz. Chase Cosgrove listed as the backup goaltender to Cole Martin, so I believe it is Chase Cosgrove. Definitely looks to be taller than Cole Martin, so that's where we're going to go with our first look here. At that right side of the floor, 10 seconds left on the shot clock. As Marshall Pallas from the outside, and the first shot faced is a save. There from Cosgrove, DeCiccio. As the penalty expires. Hidden ball play there between DeCiccio and his man on the near side, and it was quick stick opportunity to the side of the crease. That just didn't go in. Here's Darius Anderson. Faked like he still had it and actually ran back across center. Ball goes to the far side. Bo Hunter has it back. He would initially look for Pallas, but he was swarmed. So it comes for Bomberry. And Bomberry can't pick it up clean. Neither can Bo Hunter. He does the second time, shoveled it in the direction of the net, but well wide. Jake Rosa. No pass to the near boards as the offensive line for KW takes to the floor. Stevens turns and fires, and Halachuk there to make the save. Sprinting up the near side and then slowing down, Aiden Fern. We'll leave it for Pallas. Marshall Pallas. Shot between two defenders. Rebound picked up. And another one there from Bomberry right in front of Cosgrove. Reed Kurtz somehow got through the maze in front of the Six Nations Arrows bench. Ball returned back for Ty. Reed is getting worked over in front of the cage and stands up just in time to take a rifle of a shot right off the bucket. And we get a slashing penalty behind the play. And Reed Kurtz goes off and checks the side of his face. Oakville Buzz lost their captain in a similar play yesterday in their first game. And that's indeed what they're checking, the jaw. And a grimace for Reed Kurtz. The good news, if there is some, he got to the bench on his own. But that was definitely a rifle right off the side of the cage. Trying to duck under pressure with Marshall Pallas. Just did, despite the throwback of the head. Here's Pallas. And a big check there that may have ridden high. All arms of the officials stay low as Cosgrove picks up the loose ball from Zach Miller, who had fallen. Andrew Clark over center. Ty Kurtz in the corner. Kurtz with it again. Back up top, under 10 on the shot clock. They work into the corner. It's Dalpe with DeCiccio up top. Down towards the crease, very late in the shot clock now, and they can't get one. Through there from, I believe that was Jake Stevens, taking a shift up on offense. Reed Kurtz has yet to return, has yet to put his helmet back on as he grabs a drink of water and makes his way down the bench. Shot from outside, Powless, who looked like he gave a bit of a forearm there to Columbus afterwards. But Six Nations, the largest lead of the game for either team here, now stretching it to 2 as they do so shorthanded. 33 seconds left on their penalty. (8-6) in favor of the Six Nations Arrows with 10:19 to go in the period. Lebar trying to dig for it, as was Clark. As the faceoff controlled here by KW. Kurtz and DeCiccio. Gonna work the lefties first. Dalpe down to the crease. Back for DeCiccio. Dalpe and Kurtz. Kurtz trying to take it himself, this shot. And Halachuk down to a knee to make the save. Rebound controlled though by Ty Kurtz, and KW with a fresh 30. Up top, Orpana. Defender dropped to a knee, bit on the big fake from Ty Kurtz. As it's played back up top for DeCiccio. Now Kurtz takes a shot off a defender's stick. 10 on the clock as that one deflected away. Rebound picked up by Dalpe. And Halachuk the big save. Another rebound though for Dalpe and this KW squad. That, as Pat Gregoire said last night, will not go away. Quick shot, bit of a changeup, hit Halachuk and gets in the back of the net, and he calls immediately for a water break after that, as KW not only not going away, but closing that gap now to just 1 with 9 minutes left to play in regulation. Our thanks to the Dairy Farmers of Ontario for helping support Ontario Junior Lacrosse League broadcasts. They remind you to hashtag Milk Up. Our thanks again to Ontario Dairy Farmers. (8-7) our score here. If you're looking for the other game, it is Mimico and Peterborough. 10 minutes left in regulation there. Mimico on top of the Lakers right now, 8-3 over on our other channel. Again, search for OJLL, or it's in the playlist that's located here on this channel. I think that was an 8-second violation against KW. Tries they might to whip it down the floor from the corner. Rough go for Peterborough as well, who haven't had a chance to go over there. I believe Landon Kells is playing every minute as here again. The goal for Six Nations. They retake the 2-goal lead. And was it Chayton King? It was not, as I see it again. Ross Hill, the goal scorer. But regardless, a 2-goal cushion. Now for Six Nations with 8.5 remaining here in regulation. Bo Columbus, Aiden Fern renew acquaintances. Columbus draws it between his legs, but first one there for the ground ball was Adam Martin. Couldn't pick it up cleanly. Still can't, as he's met by a double team and too much contact with that ball on the turf. As Columbus and Jackman Schuley arrived on scene. Here's Paulus. Cross floor for King. King's shot a bouncer. Past the glove of Cosgrove. And now the lead up to 10. 7. 3-goal margin, the largest for either side. Run put together now by the Six Nations Arrows. As Columbus and Fern once again head-to-head at the dot. Through the legs of Columbus again, this time clean to Andrew Clark. Enough mustard on it to get it there. As Kurtz in the corner, in the middle, DeCiccio rolls away from him, corralled by Halachuk. And Duncan Thompson. Hidden ball play between Riley Miller and Bo Hunter. Miller kept it the entire time. The bench was well aware. They pass off and eventually work it to King in the corner. Errant pass picked up by Reed Kurtz. Good to see him back out there after again taking that shot off the helmet. Was checked by the trainer on the bench, and I guess she is confident, and he is, that he can continue in this game. Here's a low shot, nearly ended up in the feet of Halachuk. As Trevor Barrett chases his man back. Bo Hunter now. Under 7 to play in regulation. 3-goal lead for the Arrows. Working outside on the right side of the floor. And knocked over was Ross Hill. Hill still trying to get up, is falling in the shot. And a penalty coming here to KW. Six Nations player gets up and grabbing the face mask. Look out, swinging is Schuley. And we're going to go. Schuley still going. I don't know that Ross Hill has gotten a punch off. He hasn't really been given much choice in the matter. But Ross Hill holding his own, still standing, trying to get the takedown, and he does. Much to the delight of the Six Nations bench, and the officials will jump in. Ross Hill, number 14 for the Six Nations Arrows. And Jackman Schooley. We'll head to the showers early. That's not quite social distancing right there, but interesting to see what the penalties are here, because I didn't think that Ross Hill was much of a willing participant for most of that. The door is open to KW's bench. I think they were getting the first one. As there's already a player sitting down, so that may be the initial. As Neil McDonald, Roger Nurse, and Mark Thompson discuss. 10-7 your score in favor of the Six Nations Arrows. KW needing a win, sitting 0-3 behind Six Nations right now. Six Nations trailing Oakville. Six Nations 1 win, 1 loss, 1 tie. Technically, I guess would put them ahead of Oakville with that extra tie point. Oakville 1-2 still to play tonight with St. Catharines. Athletics Oakville last took the floor, left at about, I would say, 12:30, 12:45 this afternoon, as we're past 8 o'clock here. And their next game will come at 9 local time. Pat Gregoire and myself over on the main turf. That game coming up on this channel as well. Last one of the day, last one of the weekend from here on opening day. Opening week, I should say, of the Ontario Junior Lacrosse League regular season, which will wrap next weekend. Another 22 games on the schedule. Be sure you subscribe to both of our JVI Sports Network YouTube channels. And if you turn your notifications on, you'll get one whenever we go live. And you won't miss any of those games coming up next week, including our last one of the day, St. Catharines and the Oakville Buzz. Brampton, as we watch Cosgrove make this save, finishing atop the standings with a 3-1 record. Burlington 2-1-1. Currently ahead of St. Catharines, who has that last game against Oakville to deal with. And if Oakville wins that, man, oh man, you need an advanced calculus degree to figure out what's going on. Jackman Shuley, 5 for fighting. Penalties still coming in here. But Curtis Hall got the initial for slashing. And we may have an instigator here for Shuley, which I don't disagree with, as Ty Kurtz couldn't get a shot through in time. Six Nations will be up 5-on-3, as there are 2 penalties on the board. And 5.5 left to play. Walking through is King, a number of fakes, but Cosgrove starting to get settled in. As Bo Columbus running out here with Stevens, the shot and the goal. And Halachuk run into by his own man after the fact. Columbus took a hit, making that pass. And here come KW back within 2. As Halachuk getting up a bit slow and getting all his equipment in gear. Neil McDonald is there, checks on him. He says he's okay. It's Andrew Clark, actually, with that goal that makes it 10-8 and shorthanded as well. So another 38 seconds of 5-on-3 in favor of Six Nations. Clark there for the face-off, and they say that Aiden Fern moved early. He's done that a couple times. Now as back for Ty Kurtz. KW would love another one here, but more interested, I would think, in killing off as much as the 25 seconds left in those 2 minor penalties. Big swarm in the corner, and 3-on-1 normally doesn't work, but the KW player too much with the ball on the ground, so fresh 30 here as Ty Kurtz take it up and outside the restraining line, and 2-player change coming back on the floor as we go back 5-on-5. Dalpe is one of them, tries the cross crease pass intended for Kurtz. Ball popped out of his stick, 5 left to shoot. And they get one there from the high man. This is going to be out of the reach of Kurtz, and it will go for the over and back. Chayton King quickly after it on the half boards with 4 minutes remaining in regulation and a 2-goal lead for Six Nations. Tyler Davis. He works to the far side. Powless getting the pass back. Now down in the corner. Davis again. Lost control. It's picked up by KW. And they'll rush down the far side. Briefly had a 2-on-1 advantage, but the short defensive change coming to play there for Six Nations. Kurtz. Underhand pass, looking to the far side. Orpana back with it. Nate Braniff, former Burlington Chief, as Orpana bounces that one off the back dasher. Can't control it in time to get a shot away. And the time's starting to tick now for KW. They've been in pretty much every single game except that St. Catharines won yesterday, as Palace will shovel this back. The shot off the shoulder of Cosgrove rolls out through the crease. And a big pile up along the end, boards for it. Cosgrove was there to throw the pick, but not required. As loose ball picked up by Hall, Stevens carries it into the attacking zone. Cosgrove to the bench. Go time for KW. Here's Kurtz. Orpana. Last man off the bench is Reed Kurtz. Back for Ty. Trying the cross crease pass, and they tried again to get the shot. Only 5 to do it now. Orpana back for Ty Kurtz. Goalie is back, and that shot is wide. It'll be a shot clock violation. .2:15 to go. Played back for Tyler Davis. Davis for King. Powless hard into his man, but no call. And it was off the stick of Columbus as they tried to get it back into the middle. 10 seconds. KW wanted the over and back call. Marshall Powless, quick peek at the clock. His shot clock about to run out as it's picked up by Borgatti. He controlled it long enough to start the 8-second count, nearly over, and they had to rush it, with eventually forces the turnover as Stevens was tied up with Malcolm Thompson. Riley Miller up for Davis. Down in the corner, Marshall Powless sends it out in front. Big collision, net goes flying. Cosgrove, I thought, was about to take off for the bench, but we'll get a stoppage to do some housekeeping over there in the crease, and has KW called timeout here. And KW has called timeout. The initial stoppage, it sounded like Mark Thompson stopped it to replace the net. But then KW actually asking for their timeout with 1:03 left. They need 2 goals to tie here late, or they will finish the first week 0-4. Which, again, only a 2-week season, 8 games total, 2 games a day over the 2-day weekend span. And headed into next weekend, facing an 0-4 record, not what any of these teams want, let alone KW or Peterborough over on the other side as they face Mimico. That horn is the final score of Mimico Peterborough, 11-4. The Mimico Mountaineers will improve to 3-1, dropping Peterborough to 0-4. As Cosgrove will remain on the bench here after this timeout. Here's Stevens up over center. Into the corner. It works back for Stevens. Hard shot off the foot of Halachuk. Picked up Working to the cage and a shot there. Trent DeCiccio. Halachuk in. No one can get to the bench. Cosgrove is on the backside of the bench. He's got no intentions of coming back. So Jake Rosa has to get that loose ball. He does. And up for DeCiccio with only 30 seconds left to play. Ty Kurtz down to the crease. The shot from Stevens and the save from Halachuk. Picked up by the Arrows again. Empty net. Borgatti off the bench, and it got through him and rolls harmlessly into the corner. For a second there, looked like it might have been on target. Borgatti for Kurtz. Shot clock off. Kurtz over to his far side. Reed Kurtz chasing off the bench. The shot from DeCiccio scores. What's the time? 4.6. That'll get KW within one. Again, already used their timeout. So they need a quick face-off win here. They've got the guy who can do it in Bo Columbus, but put anyone out there for the Arrows to scrum this and you'll be going home. A good chance for second place next week. They would jump into a tie with Burlington, 2-1-1 record. St. Catharines at 2-1. It is Bo Columbus pushing it forward. Will they have time? He picks it up. It pops loose out of his stick. He's hit hard. Shot does come, but it's late. And the Six Nations Arrows will win 10-9, but we may not be done yet as officials step in. Columbus got a bit up in the face of Duncan Thompson. He took exception. And the teams do eventually go their separate ways. That is a final score. Six Nations 10, KW 9. And that's a wrap for play here on the red field. My name's Matthew Carrick on behalf of Alan Corkum and Pat Gregoire, who've joined me all day over here. We invite you to follow us over to the Blue Turf. I believe it's still on this channel, the game, however. And our thanks to our JVI Sports Network crew as well. Ryan Harkness, Gary Morrison, Rachel Wolf. And the OJLL. Thank you for tuning in all day. One more game left to go. It's the 9 p.m. feature between St. Catharines Athletics and the Oakville Buzz.